Opinion. KPop Demon Hunters is phenomenal. Transparency item. The perspective section of the graphic is comprised of articles based on opinion. This is the opinion and perspective of the writer. KPop Demon Hunters doesn't sound like the type of movie to give its viewers chills, deeply communicate a heartfelt message, or break Netflix and Spotify records. The majority of times I have mentioned it to friends, their reactions were laughably predictable. Isn't that for kids? Or, I'm really not into K-pop, or that sounds weird. While the movie is perfectly suited for kids, a person can take out of it as much as their lived experience allows. The music is K-pop, but it's also just good music. The vocals are incredible, and the songs are written skillfully. The caliber of the KPop Demon Hunters soundtrack speaks for itself. The two fictional K-pop groups in film, Huntrix and the Seja Boys, have both claimed the highest charting K-pop girl band and boy band respectively on Spotify, according to LA Magazine. On the surface, KPop Demon Hunters might seem like something that can be half-watched while babysitting. A girl group fights demons through their music, with flashy visuals and juvenile feminine flair. KPop Demon Hunters is a colorful animated film with incredibly catchy songs, but more so than that, it's immersive, emotional, and wildly thoughtful. Unironically, a work of art. Starting with the most obvious, the film is a visually stunning experience. Every frame feels deliberately crafted, in a way which almost catches the viewer off guard considering the genre. It's childish and playful, with bright colors, elaborate costuming, and classic anime-style facial expressions, but in the same stroke the film hits the viewer with subtle and powerful artistic choices. For example, human characters are animated in 2s, or 24 frames per second, giving a choppier and more anime feel. Demons are animated in 1s, or 12 frames per second, which gives them an uncanny smoothness in comparison to the surrounding characters, according to Animation Hustle. The film plays with these frames in an interesting way with the protagonist Rumi, whose character dances along the line between good and evil. Visually the film is dazzling, but orally, KPop Demon Hunters soars. Even as someone who had never listened to K-pop before in my life, the soundtrack left its mark. The music is not just filler between action scenes or background noise. Each song is embedded in and furthers the plot, and is a memorable visual and auditory experience in itself. The songs are catchy enough to warrant repetitive car ride listens, but also emotionally complex enough to touch the viewer. At a couple points during my sister and I's first time watching the movie, we both had chills from the soundtrack alone. Beyond all of this, the real reason KPop Demon Hunters seems to be so special is the message. Granted, it's not some revolutionary philosophy. It might even be common in the genre of kids' movies. The core idea is to love yourself exactly as you are. Guilt and self-doubt lead directly to the side of evil in the movie, while acceptance and love of the parts of a person that are not good are what leads to genuine strength. Most people have heard this message before, but it's the execution of it that makes the movie unforgettable. The film beautifully captures the struggle of self-loathing, the isolation that comes from tucking away the parts of the self that shouldn't be seen, and the freedom and power in acceptance. This statement is powerful, especially when so much of life is experiencing what feels like the opposite. It's easy for one to be convinced that rest and acceptance will be possible when they have conquered their anger, become less emotional, more productive, more inclined towards kindness, more thoughtful, more disciplined. KPop Demon Hunters says, no. A person is worthy of love as they are, there is no compromise. Whether from oneself or others, love is not a prize won through perfection. It is a constant truth, whether a person realizes it or not. This message wasn't something I'd necessarily argue against, it's something I and many people know. Intellectually, I believe it. However, life is riddled with moments where this can slip away. Shame and guilt can feel like a truth, or a balance for shortcomings. That's when a movie like KPop Demon Hunters matters most. A film needs to be immersive and emotionally impactful enough to genuinely guide a person to this truth that they need a reminder of. KPop Demon Hunters is just that. A film with the capacity to bring one back to themselves. So if you're someone who thinks KPop Demon Hunters isn't for you because you don't like K-pop or animation, I urge you to approach it with an open mind. You might be in for a surprise.